Tonight, an ultimatum and an escalating war of words as the violence in the Middle East continues. Iranian missiles penetrate Israel's Iron Dome defense as both the U.S. and Iran threaten to attack critical energy facilities.
The president is not messing around. He stands by his red line.
Plus, Cuba on the brink and once again plunged into darkness.
We are living hard times. Sometimes we don't have nothing in the refrigerators.
CBC News on the ground in Havana as people struggle to get by. And
American woman, baby said get away.
Canadian rock legends back together and hitting the road again.
What's the biggest challenge getting ready for this tour?
Staying alive.
The Guess Who reflect on longevity and the early hits that powered them to start.
From CBC News, this is The National with Ian Hennemensing.
Iran and the United States are exchanging more threats tonight, trying to outdo the other as the war is now into its fourth week with no signs of an end. Donald Trump has given Iran an ultimatum: fully open the Strait of Hormuz or the U.S. will destroy its power plants. Iran is warning that if Trump carries out his threat, it will close the oil shipping route indefinitely and target vital infrastructure, including drinking water facilities critical for Gulf nations. Those countries include Qatar. Katie Simpson is in the capital, Doha, but she begins with the latest strikes from Iran, including two that managed to break through Israel's defense systems.
This is what's left of a residential building after a direct strike by Iran, one of two southern Israeli cities hit by missiles Saturday. Israel's sophisticated air defenses failing to intercept these attacks, which injured more than 175 people. A show of force and defiance by Iran as it faces a new ultimatum. On social media Saturday night, U.S. President Donald Trump wrote, if Iran doesn't fully open without threat the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours, the U.S. will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first.
The president is not messing around. He stands, unlike his predecessors, he stands by his red lines, and he's not going to allow this genocidal regime to hold the world's energy supplies or economies hostage.
A spokesman for Iran's Revolutionary Guard says if the U.S. makes good on its threat, it will strike back at energy infrastructure and water treatment facilities in the region and keep the strait closed indefinitely until any damaged power plants are rebuilt. Iran's blockade is upending global energy markets, sending gas prices soaring. Israel's prime minister comparing it to blackmail, saying it's another reason to justify the war.
What more proof do you need that this regime that threatens the entire world has to be stopped?
American officials say their strikes have degraded Iran's military capabilities, but there are concerns an attack on power infrastructure may not produce the results they want.
They're just pummeling the hell out of Iran, to be honest, in the hope that at some point the mullahs and the rest of the regime are going to wake up and say, okay, this has to stop. That's not in their DNA, and I don't think that this is a viable strategy going forward.
Trump's deadline expires early Tuesday morning local time in Tehran. And Ian, so far, the regime has not slowed in its attacks on Israel or Gulf region countries.
And Katie, there was a military helicopter crash in Qatar where you are.
Yeah, all 7 people on board were killed when the helicopter crashed into the Persian Gulf during training exercise. That includes 4 members of Qatar's military and 1 Turkish service member. It's believed to be the result of a technical malfunction, but the incident is under investigation.
Katie Simpson again tonight, reporting from Doha, Qatar. Israel is escalating its military campaign against Hezbollah, demolishing homes and bridges, including one linking Lebanon south to the rest of the country. Lebanon's president calling it, quote, a prelude to a ground invasion and a collective punishment against civilians. More than 1,000 people have been killed in Lebanon and more than 1 million displaced since the war began. 2 Israeli soldiers have been killed in Lebanon. Israel's military says the offensive against Hezbollah has only just begun. In a controversial move, Donald Trump has ordered ICE officers to help TSA staff at U.S. airports. This comes as a partial government shutdown stretches into its 5th week, leaving workers unpaid and travelers scrambling. Katie Nicholson shows us the growing strain.
The misery of 2- and 3-hour-long waits just to get through security in airport after airport.
It's chaos. It's insanity.
As the Homeland Security funding shutdown nudges into its 5th week, more than 400 TSA workers have quit, many others regularly calling in sick. Now, this solution from the U.S. president. On Monday, he posted, ICE will be going to airports to help our wonderful TSA agents. Though his border czar admits they'll be limited in what they can do.
I don't see an ICE agent looking at an x-ray machine because they're not trained in that. There are certain parts of security that TSA is doing that we can move them off those jobs and put them in the specialized jobs to help move those lines.
The plan drawing predictable criticism from Democrats.
The last thing that the American people need are for untrained ICE agents to be deployed at airports all across the country, potentially to brutalize or in some instances kill them.
ICE and its tactics, the reason for this funding shutdown, as Democrats try to force reforms on how its agents enforce immigration. After 5 weeks, lawmakers still at an impasse. Democrats have tried to reopen the flow of money to other agencies under Homeland's umbrella.
Why don't they just reopen TSA? Why don't we just reopen the Coast Guard and FEMA?
But Republicans have repeatedly swatted those efforts away.
The motion is not agreed to.
Caught in the lurch, TSA workers.
We're all hurting. Literally, checking accounts are wiped out.
Lawmakers did grind through the weekend to try and strike a deal before the spring break travel boom makes those lines balloon. But so far, no joy. The transportation secretary says if there isn't an agreement soon, more TSA agents will quit. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Washington.
CBC News is on the ground in Cuba tonight, where millions of people are in the dark after the second countrywide power grid collapse this week. A major power plant failed and went offline Saturday night, knocking out power to the nation's 10 million people. Electricity is slowly being restored in parts of Havana. But as Jorge Barrera shows us, in a time of darkness, some are finding hope in community.
Turning to God in a time of crisis, this small evangelical church in Havana packed for Sunday morning service. Everyone here spent the night without power after the national grid collapsed Saturday evening, the second time this week. While electricity slowly returned to other parts of the city, it was still out here. The pastor's message, don't give up, keep going. It's a message that this church member takes to heart.
We are living hard times, as you know. The faith in him is enough for us because sometimes we don't have nothing in the refrigerators.
This church serves a meal after services and runs a weekly food delivery program, helping those who struggle to afford food as costs skyrocket. Cuba is now into its 3rd month of a U.S.-imposed oil embargo. Now the UN says the country is on the brink of a humanitarian crisis. In Mexico this week, activists work to send help. The flotilla expected to arrive in Havana on Monday.
The idea of this flotilla is to be part of a grassroots mobilization that is taking boats, planes, and people to Cuba to show solidarity, to show that Cuba is not alone.
It's part of an international aid campaign for Cuba that also saw suitcases of medicine arrive from Puerto Rico on Saturday.
This donation is very important.
He says the oil embargo has hit the healthcare system hard, crippling patient transport and the shipping of medicine to other parts of the country. Without power, this family braided hair by the light of cell phones Saturday night and shared a meal in darkness. This is so common now that we've accepted it, says Lisandra Yanes Barrios. It's a couple hours after the power grid collapsed, and luckily supper was already made. If there's no power, we don't get water, says Barrios. She has 55 liters left in 2 tanks and hopes to get power back before they run out. Barrios says she thinks things would be just as bad in the country even without the oil blockade. She says life has been hard here for a long time. Jorge Barrera, CBC News, Havana, Cuba.
MPs returned to the House of Commons Monday after spring break. Pierre Poilievre went to the United States, shifting his tone on Canada-U.S. relations as his party slips in the polls. JP Tasker breaks down Poilievre's new message.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is making a pivot when it comes to his stance on U.S. President Donald Trump and his trade war.
I'm showing other parts of my persona that have always been there.
Touting a new message to show the Prime Minister isn't the only one with a plan to deal with the economic assault.
It's not that I'm going to abandon the fight against inflation, the fight for affordable homes and safe streets. It's that I'm going to add to it.
Well, Mark Carney says there's been a rupture in the bilateral relationship.
This bargain no longer works.
After a week-long tour of the states, Poilievre wants Canada and the U.S. to draw even closer together.
We have to get this relationship back on track.
Poilievre says the Americans should have preferential access to Canada's critical minerals. In exchange, he wants Trump to drop all his tariffs and those 50 first state taunts.
I just wish he'd knock that shit off.
Poilievre's newfound focus on the U.S. comes as polls suggest his party is trailing Carney's Liberals. This projection shows the Liberals could win a massive majority government if an election were held today.
Mark Carney's government's approval rating has hit its highest level. Even the optimism within the country has hit a level we have not seen since before the pandemic.
There are snapshots in time, and they go up and they go down.
Poilievre's campaign manager says he's not worried about the polls. He says taking on the American issue shows Poilievre can be prime ministerial, and that could help him make up some lost ground.
Being a part of this, shows maybe a side that people haven't seen before.
Poilievre can put that to the test in by-elections next month. Liberal victories in just 2 of the 3 would secure a majority government, possibly leaving the Conservatives on the opposition benches until 2029. JP Tasker, CBC News, Ottawa.
Hawaii has been hit with its worst flooding in 2 decades, forcing thousands from their homes. As Caroline Bargut tells us, there's widespread damage and the storm isn't over yet.
It's the worst flood to hit Hawaii in 20 years. A storm has brought between 100 and 127 centimeters of rain to some areas over the past 10 days, and it's not over yet.
The storm will deliver another 4 to 6 inches of rain on Oahu throughout this weekend, but it's now moving over to Maui, where we expect somewhere between likely 4 to 8 inches, but as much as 10 to 12 in some areas. So there will be definitely concerns about flooding there.
Neighborhoods are surrounded by rising floodwaters, residents told to leave. More than 5,500 people evacuated. Those orders have since lifted.
All right, everyone, if you do need help, call me, all right? I'm patrolling the area here. This guy ditched his car, couldn't get out of here.
The National Guard called in to work with first responders to help residents out of floodwaters. Nearly 200 people have been rescued. 10 were sent to hospital with hypothermia.
This is all we got right here. What we got on us right here. There's nothing else.
The rain brought a 120-year-old dam close to its capacity, prompting fears it could burst. Airports, schools, roads, and a hospital have been damaged, as well as dozens, if not hundreds of homes. Hawaii's governor says the price tag from this storm could top $1 billion. But there is some good news amid all the destruction.
No loss of life so far, a few serious injuries, but don't take this storm lightly. There's still more storm force out there.
There are more concerns as the storm hits Big Island on Sunday. Flash flooding and even landslides are possible. Caroline Bargut, CBC News, Vancouver.
The family of Nancy Guthrie, last seen January 31st in Tucson, Arizona, is asking the public for renewed attention to the case. Police believe the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie was taken against her will. The FBI released surveillance videos of a masked man outside the 84-year-old's home the night she vanished. The Guthrie family is offering a $1 million reward for information leading to her recovery. Alberta is shutting down 2 more supervised consumption sites, places where people can take illegal hard drugs under a watchful eye as a way to reduce poisoning deaths. It's not the only province taking such measures. Sam Sampson takes us to an Alberta community that lost its site a year ago to try and see what the impact has been.
Helping them inject drugs is not helping people. That's putting poison into their arms.
Alberta's stance on addiction is clear. Harm reduction hurts, recovery heals. The province is closing supervised consumption sites in Lethbridge and Calgary, instead funding treatment and detox centers, which it says will increase public safety.
People within the community that have a right to walk down the street and not inhale secondhand crystal meth smoke.
The province has closed other sites, including in Red Deer a year ago. A government-funded study published in a peer-reviewed journal suggests there's been no statistically detectable increase in opioid-related deaths since that site closed, though it says its results are inconclusive.
We have one study that is standing in contrast to a large body of research that shows that these sites are helpful, and I don't think it's ever wise to make policy decisions of this magnitude based on a single study.
Those working in addiction services stress the need for options.
There's more investment into recovery beds, that's great too, but it shouldn't come at the cost of the services that are the entryway into that programming either. I think we need the full spectrum.
What should people in Lethbridge and Calgary be prepared for now that these sites are closing?
I think they should definitely be prepared for increased public drug use. Removing services won't change whether or not people are going to use drugs. They have to become more creative and more discreet in how they're going to be doing that.
Ontario also recently cut funding to supervised consumption sites. Without staff to test drugs, critics warn of consequences.
The drug supply keeps changing. It can change in Ontario at a blink of an eye. And you might see spike in overdoses. So again, having these sites is very helpful and crucial to mitigate some of these changes that often do happen.
Alberta's changes leave the province with 3 supervised consumption sites, including 2 in Edmonton. All sites, the province says, are under review. Sam Sampson, CBC News, Edmonton.
Asia's reliance on oil from the Middle East has left many across the continent reeling.
It's a national crisis. Look at the whole industry. Everyone is facing the similar challenges.
How countries are trying to stretch supplies. The Guess Who's making a comeback while reminiscing about their rise to international stardom.
He would come to me with great riffs. And, 45 minutes later, there was a song there.
My conversation with the Canadian superstars and crowning a new world champion.
The Canadian snatches it on the line. 44-76 is gold for Canada.
We're back into snowy weather was forecast, but that didn't keep thousands of Montrealers from celebrating their 201st St. Patrick's Day parade. For 3 hours, onlookers were entertained by floats, marching bands, sports teams, and traditional dancers. And the light snowfall finished before the parade did. The music played on even as the doors at Steve's Music Store in Toronto closed for the last time. After nearly 50 years, the landmark on Queen Street West is shutting down after a final liquidation. The store was a pillar in the music community, many coming in over the weekend to say goodbye. Steve's Montreal flagship remains in operation. Many in South Asia are feeling the direct impact of the skyrocketing cost of oil, with fuel shortages leading to a scramble for energy. As Salima Shivji explains, it's exposing a deeper weakness in a region heavily dependent on global supply routes.
Cylinders full of liquefied petroleum gas are in short supply across India, crucial for cooking in several 100 million homes, now being distributed very carefully. Every customer needs to show a personalized code to get their share, and households get priority, not businesses, all to protect what little LPG is left in India's reserves. For Chirag Chauhan, it's a constant scramble to land more cylinders. Most of his restaurant's kitchen has switched to electric stoves, but Chauhan can't serve dosas, the star of his menu. That requires gas.
Every day is a new challenge, and we're trying to manage and do the best we can. It's a national crisis. With the whole industry, everyone is facing the similar challenges.
Here in India, supply at the pumps is not affected, but there's major upheaval elsewhere in Asia, where every country is heavily dependent on oil from the Middle East. In Sri Lanka, long lines outside petrol stations as the country rations its gas, and people are left wondering why. Others started this war, but we're the ones suffering, says this tuk-tuk driver. The country, with an already frail economy, has moved to a 4-day work week, as has neighboring Pakistan. In Bangladesh, the energy crisis has forced universities to close. Further east in Thailand, the government is begging workers to wear short sleeves and asking offices to turn down air conditioners in a bid to save power. And hundreds of fishing boats have been forced to dock with oil running out. I've been doing this for 50 years. I've never seen this before, says this fisherman. We can't work if the war continues, with no clear idea how long oil and gas reserves will last. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Mumbai.
After decades apart, the Guess Who's heading back on tour.
Keep going, don't quit. If you get knocked down, get back up again and try again. We're the ultimate example of that.
What's motivating a band already credited with taking Canadian music to new heights? Dogs instinctively skilled at hunting, using those talents without harming other animals.
It's just such an amazing feeling listening to them. I mean, they're speaking, coming up, and then they just love you.
The National breaks down the stories shaping our world. Next. A modern kind of hunt keeps an old British tradition alive, but without the kill.
What is it that you like about this? I just think it's amazing to watch the hounds, like how they can hunt us over a bit of ground.
We're on the trail with runners as the hounds chase our scent. But first. American woman, baby said get away. Just one of the classics of legendary Canadian rock band The Guess Who, together again and heading on tour for the first time in 23 years. Obviously, you've managed to patch things up. How tough was it?
Tell me any successful couple you know that hasn't had that.
I sat down with the band's superstar members, Burton Cummings and Randy Bachman, in Toronto to talk about their reunion tour, extensive catalog, and the moment they learned of their first #1 hit. "60 years ago, the Guess Who came together, was incredibly successful. Since then, they've been reunions, they've been breakups, they've been solo careers. What's the biggest challenge getting ready for this tour?"
Staying alive. Stay alive, stay healthy. I mean, we've lost a lot of friends.
Yeah.
I mean, even this last week, I mean, guys are going.
Mm-hmm. I think we've already accomplished the biggest challenge by keeping going, you know.
Lonely days are gone, I'm a-going home. My baby just wrote me a letter. These eyes have seen a lot of love, but they're never gonna see another one like I have.
By any measure, Randy Bachman and Burton Cummings have been remarkably successful. By their early 20s, they wrote songs that have become rock classics.
Well, you're laughing at me. Well, you're laughing at me.
They were founding members of the Guess Who, the first Canadian band to hit #1 in the U.S.
American woman, baby said get away.
Then, at the peak of the band's success, they parted ways.
If you ever didn't know it, then be yourself before.
Bachman formed BTO, while Cummings fronted the Guess Who for a few more years, then launched a solo career. There have been reunions, but it's been a while.
She's come undone. She didn't know what she was headed for.
For the first time in decades, they're getting back together as the Guess Who, a delay that was extended because of a legal dispute through which they lost rights to the name of the band they made famous. I met up with Bachman and Cummings at a rehearsal space in the West End of Toronto and started by showing them some film from one of their early interviews.
We're at a little hotel room here, and we're talking to the Guess Who from Winnipeg. You were supposed to do your little bit there. Okay. What are you going to do? Yeah, do your bit.
Let me wrap you
We are very young here. Wow.
and tender love.
That's my first guitar. $34 harmony guitar.
Seriously?
No, it started out, as the normal kind of thing, just playing around the high school gymnasiums and...
I have no idea where this is from. Absolutely no recollection of this. Or that vest I'm wearing. I've seen enough. I can't watch anymore.
Look, the Beetle boots. We're all wearing Beetle boots.
It's true. It is something we've never seen.
Now, over the years, you guys have had incredible successes, but I've read some rough spots too, right? Some creative differences. Tell me a little bit about that, because obviously you've managed to patch things up. How tough was it?
Tell me any successful couple you know that hasn't had that.
Yeah.
Lennon McCartney, Jagger and Richards, Bacharach and David. You got any brothers?
Goffin and
I
King.
don't. But if I did, I would probably be feuding with them.
Sisters?
As sister, yeah.
What do you fight?
Yeah.
A band is a family that you choose. You're born into your family, you're stuck. A band you could choose, and if it doesn't go right, you leave, you have a fight. You
Start a new band.
Right.
Well, when I was in high school...
And then you realize what the other band was. Never mind this guy was a jerk once, because I was a jerk once. He's been a non-jerk 10 times, and he's a much better player or singer, whatever, and he's always on time, and he's a music freak.
And the minstrel boy is not singing anymore.
Think back to that time period, 1965, 1970, and how young you were and how incredible the music was that you put out song after song after song. And as you think back to that time, what was it like?
It was fun.
Or did you have to labor over it?
And here's one thing I remember very clearly is that he would come to me with great riffs, with guitar riffs. And out of the blue, I would just start singing. And, 45 minutes later, there was a song there. Like, we were very good at putting pieces together. Even These Eyes. Like, I'm the piano player. Everybody thinks I wrote boom, boom, da 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 da.
I assumed you did.
He did.
Wow.
He did that on piano. And I said to him when he showed me that, I said, wow, that's pretty cool for a piano player, for a guitar player to play that.
Yeah.
And then he said, well, I got this song, and it's These Arms. And I didn't like that. I said, no, let's change it to These Eyes.
These eyes cry every night for you.
And then from there, we had this verse, and he had the verses going in, and I said, okay, we need something really dramatic in the middle. So I came up with that. And then there was the other part of the song. It needed to go from the softer part into something more dramatic, and there it was. And it was the two of us putting pieces together.
We also had no financial pressure. We lived at home.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Granny Kirkpatrick and Rhoda Cummings and Charles and Ann Bachman. We lived at home.
Yeah.
When we made money, we bought records, we bought instruments. We didn't have to pay any rent. We were fed good food. We wrote every Saturday at his house with Granny Kirkpatrick making us cookies and 7-Up at like 2 o'clock. We'd start writing at 11. We'd have our cookies. We'd written a song. We'd go home, have a shower. I'd pick them up. We'd go do a gig.
Yeah.
Back to school on Monday,
So you mentioned songs like These Eyes, American Woman, hits #1. Tell me about the moment you found that out.
Oh my gosh. We were on tour. We toured endlessly in those days. We were on tour. We were in a Holiday Inn, I think, downtown somewhere in Milwaukee.
Making $750 a night.
In Milwaukee. And we weren't that big yet, but we were working a lot. And we were thrilled to be working the States regularly. Now, in those days, Wednesday was the big day of the week. That's the day you got the call from New York about the new chart positions in Billboard. So Wednesday was the big day of the week for us every week. We're about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We're in Milwaukee, and somebody got a call. I think he got the call originally and told the rest of us. We got the call that American Woman had gone #1 in Billboard. We couldn't believe, and we were fighting the Beatles with Let It Be. We were fighting the Jackson 5. We were fighting all these huge acts. An American Woman ends up #1, and it stayed #1 for 3 weeks.
Wow.
There you go.
And all 3 trades, Record World, Cashbox, and Billboard. So we all got on I got the phone call. I call everybody to get like a serious band meeting and go, we're #1. We all put our arms around each other, stand on the bed, jump up and down like because we're #1. The whole bed caves in. We go to the next bed. There's 2 beds in each room. We do it again. We go to the gig and get $750. Then our price went to $10,000 a night.
It was like we were like 9-year-old girls meeting in sync. When we heard that news that we had gone #1, it was almost too much to believe. I'm a kid from the north end of Winnipeg. I grew up without a dad. Like this was way beyond anything we could have imagined, or hoped for.
Yeah,
you know.
and the Guess Who is still a really important brand, except for a few years, one of your band members trademarked it, toured in the United States. The band that was touring under the name Guess Who was a shadow of the real Guess Who. I follow you on Instagram, Burton. I know that was very frustrating for you.
Oh, it was awful. And, their history now, I don't want to go into it too much, but they used to actually do things like take our real albums to meet and greets, and they would sign on our pictures. And finally, Randy and I saw this going on, and I mean, he's got a lot of kids and grandkids, and they see online the Guess Who is here and there, and they're wondering, like, is Grandpa playing in Cleveland tonight? Is Grandpa in Florida tonight? But no, it's the fake Guess Who. It's the fakes. So thank you, music gods. We have put that to bed.
Yeah. How different is it, though, for you to tour at this age? So, for example, your voice, I was listening to some of the Guess Who stuff just this morning, and your voice was so beautiful, so sweet, so high. What's it like at this stage?
Well, we haven't dropped the keys too much. We've dropped, first of all, we play a half tone down in general, which helps a little bit. And then on something like, we're not doing Stand Tall on this tour, but it's so hard to sing, I take that down an extra key. But more or less, we're just a half a key down, which a lot of groups play anyway. We're only a half tone down.
No time for a summer friend, no time for the love you send.
And what about for you? You know, rock and roll, big guitar god on the stage, and before you probably did, a show every night from town to town. What's it like now? How different is it now?
Traveling is a little bit better in a way and worse in a lot of, what's worse is the airports. What you got to go through at the airports. If you have one extra ounce of shampoo, they take your shampoo. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. But we've got tour buses now. When we were touring, we were jammed in a station wagon.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big difference. So you can be on a bus with a lovely bunk to go to. There's Wi-Fi, there's television, there's
a kitchen. You play cards, you're watching videos.
It's
but
not
it's
like it
still
was.
pounding away at your body and your mind and your heart and soul. It's just pounding, pounding, pounding.
For somebody who's watching this who may be in their 40s or 50s and they don't really know the Guess Who, it's from an era before their time, why should they think about going to watch one of your concerts?
Why? Because I think we're the ultimate example of don't quit. Keep going, don't quit. If you get knocked down, get back up again and try again. We're the ultimate example of that.
It's a joy to sit on stage and look at the audience, and you see a teenager and somebody in their mid-30s, somebody in their 50s, and it's a kid and his father and his grandfather, and they're all singing your song. They're singing These Eyes Are American Woman or something like that. It's really amazing. We've achieved our teenage dream.
They were too modest to say this, but the real reason to go see them if they're in concert near you this summer is because the music from that Guess Who era is so amazing. And if you don't know it, take some time tonight and listen. Coming up, keeping a centuries-old tradition alive in Britain's countryside without breaking the law.
I feel like I'm back in high school cross-country running.
human runners and bloodhounds. Why the chase is called a clean boot hunt. Next. A controversial old British pastime transformed to a different kind of hunt. Bloodhounds still on the chase, but their prize, human runners on foot.
It means you can carry on in this wilderness without concerns about wildlife.
Briar Stewart joined the hunt and those looking to carry on the tradition without the controversy.
In South England's sprawling New Forest, where herds of wild ponies gallop across the rugged landscape, Saturday mornings sometimes begin like this, on horseback or enjoying a drink nearby, while others mingle in the mud with the hounds.
Voulez-vous is our biggest flag. Guys, get down.
Hello, he wants a kiss. Soon it will be time to release this pack of bloodhounds. Before they go, they're giving us all a good sniff.
Ah, that's a lovely cuddle.
It's a modern twist on hunting. Enthusiasts see this as an ethical way to keep the hunt alive. Instead of chasing wild animals, these hounds will go after runners, and we're tagging along. So these hounds have all got a really good smell of us, and now basically we smell like them too. Yeah. These dogs are renowned for their ability to track a scent over long distances and have a gentle personality.
What is it that you like about this? I just think it's amazing to watch the hounds, like how they can hunt us over a bit of ground. They will hunt us across heather and bracken, woodland, and it's just such an amazing feeling listening to them. I mean, they're speaking, coming up, and then they just love you.
It's called clean boot hunting. And this is the latest iteration of a historical pastime. After much public debate, fox hunting was banned in England just over 20 years ago. Now the UK government is poised to also prohibit its replacement, trail hunting. That's when a rag soaked with the scent of an animal is dragged across the land. Critics argue that the practice is often just a smokescreen for illegal hunting. So those here are hoping that by using runners, this event and all of its social customs can continue.
There are a whole range of things here. There's people on horses. We used to follow on foot, but with the bloodhounds, they go very quickly. Hang on, I'm on interview here. You can't give me a sausage. Thank you very much. You can't stop them. Man with a sausage and a whiskey. There you are.
After the snacks are finished and a quick pep talk, it's time to set off.
Here we go. Hunt radio, quarry here, arriving at start 1. Do you copy me? Over. I'm ready. This way then, guys.
And then, holding our cameras, we hit the trail. We are now in the field. This is the very first of 5 runs that they'll do today with the hounds. We need to get about halfway before they release the hounds, and this team sets a good pace across the varied terrain. We go through woodland. I feel like I'm back in high school cross-country running. It's just a wild pony. It's only about 2.5 kilometers, but it feels much longer. I feel like we may be slowing down the hunt. At the end of this pre-planned route, we're running through heather. The pack isn't far behind, and we can start to hear their calls. You can hear them?
Yes. Yeah. No, they're coming.
We crouch behind a stand of holly and wait. I see one. This is the end of the first round.
Biscuits!
The dogs get a snack and a drink before it's time to head off again. The rest of the crew does 4 more rounds, 16 kilometers in total. On one occasion, the hounds lost the scent and didn't arrive before the horses. But Will Day says that's what keeps it interesting.
They're not robots on a little train line, so that's the fun. But it's manageable, and it means you can carry on in this wilderness without concerns about wildlife. The whole thing just works and is great fun.
He expects more groups across the UK will start similar hunts because he sees runners as a way to carry on a long-standing tradition into the future.
Breyer's pace was pretty impressive there at the beginning. The UK government is hoping the new rules around banning trail hunting and snare traps will be in place by 2030. Coming up, a Canadian sprinter takes gold at the World Athletics Indoor Championships.
When I actually passed the line, I was kind of just like, oh my gosh, like no way. Like I actually just won.
His impressive performance is next in our moment. You're looking at Canadian sprinter Christopher Morales-Williams just moments after he won the men's 400-meter event at the World Athletics Indoor Championships in Torun, Poland. This was not a runaway victory. The 21-year-old was forced to come from behind with almost no time to spare. But now that gold medal-winning performance makes our moment.
The Canadian snatches it on the line. 44.76 is gold for Canada.
I broke the championship record here for World Indoors. So I ran 44.76, and that was the first ever 44 run outside of United States of America. When I actually passed the line, I was kind of just like, oh my gosh, like no way. Like I actually just won. This is the big championship. I do the 400 meters indoors, so that's 2 laps around a 200-meter bank track. I kind of like sat in second place for a little while. I just kind of waited to see when I got the opportunity to pass the guy in front of me, and then the last 20 meters, I just surged through and just got the victory, got the golds.
He's coming under pressure from Morales-Williams. The Canadian snatches it on the line.
It's crazy that I used to watch that on TV, and I never expected that would be me one day. It was my best race of the year, and I'm just happy to be a world champion.
I often think that if you win a world championships, but it's not associated with an Olympic medal, it gets like maybe 1/1000th of the attention. But we're glad we could shed a little light on it, on our moment on the National. For all of us here, thanks for being with us. I'm Ian Hannamansing in Vancouver. You can also join me on CBC News Network, weeknights at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. See you then.